Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Ketchidori.
Hey, it's Yeukai here, and welcome back to another very special episode. I'm super excited. You guys know I'm always excited, but today I'm more excited because we are going to learn strategies that work, that can help you and me scale our business fast. And with me is an amazing lady, Jan Cavelle. Jan, thank you so much for joining us here on the show.
Oh, it's such an honor and a pleasure. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
You know what? I remember when we first had a conversation and we were talking about your journey in this entrepreneurial world, that it did not start straightforward. You were a single mom and you were on a low income budget, but you found your way through. Would you tell our audience who you are and perhaps some of the hurdles you've had to go over to be who you are today?
Well, it's a long story. I have been an entrepreneur for just about 40 years, I guess, just over maybe. And during that time, I've had small businesses of a variety of types and scaled one to a certain size. In addition, I've been a passionate campaigner for entrepreneurship, for all sorts of campaigns in the EU and at home, because I just totally believe in entrepreneurs. And what else? Now I am a published author with Bloomsbury on scaling a business. So again, which I wrote to support other entrepreneurs.
Yes, and that book has done very well. And I was checking it out, and I thought I would love to know one or two things that are in here and incorporate in what I already do. In fact, one of the things we often talk, Jan, here is if you want to succeed, find people who have succeeded in that area and model them. And with you sharing your stories, how you have succeeded, how you help other people to succeed, to scale for success, with an ease, people are going to shortcast their journey. So we want to dive straight into this conversation. In your opinion, Jan, people want to scale. What is the right mindset to adopt?
I think you need to be very, very clear on what your purpose is. I mean, we've got two types of businesses that scale, or business owners that plan to scale. And one is the ones that may set up pretty well from the start, or even totally from the start, and launch off to scale with perhaps VC backing or angel backing or seed or whatever. And they're always going to go big, or that's how do we say. Whereas we've also got the people who end up growing and keeping growing and thinking, oh, I can grow some more. And those two groups, I think, are different in their plus points and, well, like anything else in life, they've got plus points and minus points. And so we're dealing with different things. The ones who start off with capital, obviously, are very focused, they're very clear on growing, but they may not have the experience to know why they're doing it. It is possible they may just think this is a very fashionable, very good thing to do. And of course, that doesn't come from the gut. And I do think, if you're going to have a sustainable business, it's got to come from the gut. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an issue. Whereas if you drift into scaling, I think that can be disastrous because you need preparation. You need to know what you're doing. So it's two very different groups of pitfalls you can fall into there.
Yes. Let's talk about people who are intentional, who wants to succeed. What is the right mindset they need to have?
I think actually the right mindset applies to both. It's just that the reasons they have it might vary or not have it, should I say. I think they have to be totally clear on where they're going, why they're going there, and what they want to achieve by going there. Again, there's this danger of thinking big is beautiful because it's funky, fashionable, or whatever. or they think it's going to be a great route to get rich, or they think it's going to provide them with lots of freedom. All those things might happen in the long run, but it's not going to happen while you're scaling a business. You're not going to put your feet up and go run the world.
And this is true, because you are going to be working very hard. You'll be engaged.
Absolutely. So great if you're aiming for all those things, for the freedom and lots of things people do start businesses for freedom and money. Great, but have a set period of time where you're aiming to achieve it and go all out for whatever that period of time is to achieve it. Again, absolute focus. I think that's got a lot to do with mindset.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. What I love about that is if you're not clear on what you want to do, you will end up drifting to all sorts of places.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have a strong reason why you want to have that scalability or that a big business or whatever it is, when the difficult times comes, you are going to buckle up, or you're going to fall.
Absolutely.
And of course,
if you don't have a good enough reason, why keep going? It is as simple as that.
Yes, awesome. So how do you start scaling? Or maybe that's a good start. How do you start scaling it? Maybe I've got two things I want to ask today, Jan.
I think
the first one is how do you know you are ready for scaling? And the other one is, how do you start scaling? So which one would you like to take on first?
I think let's go backwards. Let's go to the second one because it may answer your first one.
Okay.
I think it's all about planning because you need to get ready to scale, and that involves having a really good strategy. You want to be clear on where you're going to go, and that takes time. You're obviously going to need to put the funding in place, assuming that you're not able to do it totally self-funded, or even if it's part funding. Funding takes time, which a lot of people don't realise. Actually, they think they're just going to toddle off and get it, and it's not like that. Even if crowdfunding takes 1 to 2 years. So there's the funds. Most important, there's people, and you just don't find people in a hurry. And then there's all the practical stuff, the strategies. For growth, how supposing you get your $250,000 tomorrow, how is that going to interpret itself in terms of people, in terms of what they're going to be doing, how is it going to come back? It all needs planning. And then the actual job descriptions or what's the word I'm looking for? Not so much job descriptions, but actual systems. Why could I not think of systems? Very basic word. But yeah, the systems need putting into place. So, a lot of your success is going to be down to that prep. And when you've done the prep, you'll be in a much better place to scale. Don't scale without the prep.
Well, there you go, guys. Don't scale without the prep. Gosh, and this is a 40-year experience coming on there. So if I were you, I would hit of those wisdom. So yes, plan, prepare, and know the road ahead. Amazing. Jan, you have seen some people fail, who try to scale. What do you think could, makes people fail, or the most common one, other than not planning to scale?
It's difficult to pick out one particular common one. I think the lack of clear clarity of purpose is a huge one, because you just can't keep going without it. And if you lose that, there's obviously not having the right people, I think, comes a close second to that.
Right.
Because for all sorts of reasons, you might not have the right people. Sometimes people cling on to the people they started with.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you'll say you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're not as scalable as the rest of your business, to be say.
Yeah.
So people can be the downfall.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I know that 100%. It was until my coach said to me, "You have to decide. Do you want to keep on dealing with this, or you want to grow?" And I had to make a decision and say, "Okay, we can keep these individuals as part of the team, but not on the positions that enable us to scale." Because believe me, Jan, I love my team that we started with. because they were with me right through the thick and thin when other people did not believe me. But there comes a point where what we are doing is now beyond their capacity. So that's when it comes in.
That's absolutely right. See it so often, and it was certainly something I struggled with. And you do, it's a big struggle because you love them and they're loyal to you, and you think, well, surely they're excited about this, and maybe with training it'll be okay.
Oh, yes. I use this excuse. I think, okay. After a year, I thought, maybe that's not the thing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So suppose somebody wants to start scaling. What area of business do you recommend to start with?
Well, as a sector of business, or which bit of the scale plan should they start with?
As in, say, for example, I'll give my example. My outsourcing company, we've got all the departments there. What area should I say, okay, I want to start scaling this, or I will need to start with this? How do I go about figuring what to do first in that process of scaling?
Market. You look at the market, absolutely, because you've got to be sure that your marketing differential is sufficiently defined by then. We all start off in business and we're just selling anything to anybody and getting excited because we're making some money, but later on you have to get it a bit right, and nail what your definite thing is. Has the market got the scope for that? Because however clever you are at scaling, if your market's not there, you're going to have to rethink what you do.
Yes. Yeah, amazing. I'm laughing because I know exactly what you talk about. It's like you were looking at my journey. When we started, Jan, it was like, okay, we get everybody here, who wants a virtual assistant will do that. And within 2 years, Jan, honestly, I was this close to giving up because I had the wrong type of people in my organization, wrong type of clients. I spent a lot of time putting off fire, and it was like, really, do I want to be doing this? I was neglecting the best customers that we had because I'm focusing on solving the problems of not so best customers, and I had to put a stop to it.
Absolutely right. I mean, the wrong customers, you're never going to make happy. So you spend all your life in a very negative, miserable place.
Yes. Okay. Once you look at the market, where do you go from there?
If you're convinced you've got the right thing, then you can start to build, your plan of exactly how far do you want to take this. What's the end goal? When do you want to get out? That's terribly important to look at. And it's something that a lot of people in business don't look at because, for a variety of reasons, they think, sometimes the investors say, oh, well, we'll see how it goes. But when the investors decide if there's an end to this, it might not be at the same time as you, unless you've decided your own plan. You need to take back control. And if you haven't got investors, you need to be sure of what your B plan is. If you wake up, in 5 years' time and think, I can't do this one more day, what is going to happen? How are you going to get out of there? Yeah. You need to have a B plan to practice maybe buying and selling some businesses, just distressed ones, just to get the feel of it so that you can sell with slightly more panic. Because I see so many people who haven't quite succeeded in scaling, but they've still got their business and they sway, and I know this one all too well, they sway between thinking, I've had enough, I'm going to get out. That sounds a bit scary. I don't want to walk away. Oh, okay, well, I'll go on building it. And, it just goes on this rancid cycle, and they spend their whole life thinking it's a miserable way to do it.
It is. Have an exit strategy plan. I know one of my clients, we had supporting him to sell his healthcare business, and it took 2 years to actually get it done because, the moment the sale wants to come through, you say, oh, no, because I was his baby. But you can see exactly what you're saying about that, and you think, what am I going to do after? This has been my life for the last 5 years. Yeah. Actually, it was 7 years for him. And in the end, we had to really look at what do you really want? And with a little support, we got him over there, and he's happy. He started another company. He's doing very well. So
brilliant, lovely, a success story.
Yes. As a business owner, as a CEO, what critical skills would you say you need to start developing right now in order for you to be able to scale your business as an individual, not as a business?
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's another area that people neglect because they get very caught up in everything there is to do, and for firefighting, which almost inevitably sets in because some areas are quicker than others to develop, and they forget that probably the most vital area they need to develop is themselves, because we're not necessarily very good at valuing ourselves. And so we don't put aside time and money on the most important investment of all, which is to develop you as a leader. And I think people ought to really give that some thought, if need be, work on their self-worth, but they are going to have to work on it because they're going to have to develop their leadership skills if they're going to succeed in the long run.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right. Yes, and without developing personally, your organization is not going to develop.
Absolutely right.
Everything rises and falls with leadership, as John Maxwell says. So focusing on that truly is the way forward.
Yeah, no, definitely. But it doesn't always come easy.
It doesn't, because it requires a self-reflection and being accountable and thinking, okay, I'm not hiding behind anything else. What is really going on there? And
absolutely.
Hunting with it, it's amazing. One of the questions, John, that I often get asked by our listeners here is, say I have already started scaling and this whole thing is going, but it's everywhere, and I'm thinking I'm spread thin. How can I get control of this or start over again, get things right where I need to be? What would you say to a business owner like that?
I think you're right. I mean, I think it's very easy to fall into that, and that's when you get firefighting and you stop spending any time on you, and you start to fall to pieces and the whole thing goes west. So it's a very easy trap to fall into. But what do you do? I think the answer is, it's partly in why I started by saying plan it, because if you've got those right, at least a left hand and a right hand in place from the start, then, it's a shared load. Particularly if you start a business on your own and there's only you are definitely going to need that load shared so that you can just stand back and say, take a breather, look at this. Is there any other solution? But sometimes, you just do have to wind back and go back a bit. Going back to the book, there's one entrepreneur who's very, very honest. She's hugely successful now, but, they scaled very fast and realized they just hadn't got people and the systems and everything in place. And they literally had to say, no, okay, no good. Go back to whatever it was, million turnover or whatever, regroup, plan it better, and have another go. And they did, and they succeeded beyond any belief.
Yeah, great advice there. But would you have some pointers as to identify when scaling is becoming too big for you before you actually get to the worst part? Would you have some pointers?
I think that's where leaders can often be their own worst enemy, and it's so good to have both a support team in the business and a support team outside the business, because they can, hopefully, if you've got an honest enough relationship with them and them with you, they can say, you're beginning to sound as if this is too much. And, that's the first time you sound like that. It's the time to take a long weekend at the very least and think, is it actually getting too much? And if so, what am I going to do about it? We've got this terrible tendency to just go on and we'll sort it. Be British about it, and it's a disaster. It really is. You can't do that. You have to actually regroup on a regular basis.
Yes. I like the keyword regular basis, because if you don't, things will get out of hand.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure. Amazing. I'm certainly enjoying and learning a lot from you, and I know listeners are doing exactly the same thing, and they would like to carry on learning from you. Where can they find you if they want to access your information?
Oh, thank you. They can find me on my website, which is jancavelle.co.uk.
Yes.
And so they can email me or get in contact with me via there. And all my social media's on there.
Awesome. And also, what services do you provide?
That's a good question. I mean, I write a lot now, so what I do is limited. I'm doing a little bit of network and a little bit of consultancy. But I have to be very sure I feel I can really add value because I think I can definitely with my writing. So, and that's what I'm here to. What I want to do now is give back and add value to people.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And are you on social media as well, Jan?
I am. I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, a little bit on Facebook and Instagram, but not much, but mainly Twitter and LinkedIn.
Awesome. And we will have these links at the bottom of this recording, so you can just press that link and you'll be taken to Jan's social handles and also on the website. And if you've got any question around the subject we're talking about, Jan will be able to reach out to help you.
Delighted to. And absolutely, please do.
Yes. And as we're coming toward the end of our time here together, Jan, what would you say, perhaps two actually, things that you have observed from those who have successfully scaled and are happy in the process?
It was an interesting question because I asked everybody in the book what success meant to them, because I wanted to see, what successful people did feel about this. It fascinated me, and they were very quick to say it wasn't the money. Nearly all of them. Some of them said part of it's what money buys. It buys me time with my family. It buys me freedom to travel or whatever, but not per se I'm a rich person, didn't do it. So there was that. They enjoyed creating. There's that neediness, I think, as entrepreneurs to build. I think we're builders at heart.
Amazing. It is amazing. As you know, I've had the privilege of interviewing over 310 successful people.
I know. Unbelievable. So many congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And your observation is exactly my observation. They hardly say money. They say, the me being able to give back and being able to provide a solution where people can't find a solution gives them this amazing feeling of, that they are truly living. And
absolutely,
that has made me reevaluate what I'm doing and say and do what I need to do right now, rather than pursue something that when you get there you think, oh, is that all there is?
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, you want to have impact. And that, I think, comes down, again, a lot to thinking about why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is going to have an impact on somebody, for better or worse. Yeah. Is that a good idea?
That's right. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And you have been in this space for over 40 years. What has kept you?
I know.
Yes. What has kept you going? Because so many people start and stop at 5 years, 10 years, and they give up. But you have been very persistent, helping a lot of people in the process. What is your secret?
I think stubbornness has a lot to do with it. But I mean, for many years, I was kept going by my children, which is an easy motivation if you're doing it for your children. It is just you supporting them. I think it's one hell of a motivation. Now I write because it's all I've wanted. I mean, it's my two great loves. It's supporting entrepreneurs and writing. How could I be that lucky for being able to put the two together?
Yes, amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, this is wonderful. Is there anything else that you wish my audience would want to know about the subject that I did not ask you about? Maybe it could be frequently asked questions that you know the answers for.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, if they want to ask any questions, they are very welcome. There's so much to consider, but don't try and do it all yourself, I think is the answer. Get rid of the bits you don't enjoy quicker.
Wow.
That's always helpful.
Get rid of the things you don't enjoy quicker. Oh,
get rid of doing the things you don't enjoy quickest first. Keep that love and passion for your business going because you need it.
Yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That is the goal.
Wow, absolutely amazing. The reason that resonates with me is because recently I have been looking at the things that I don't enjoy the most during our review time. So hearing you talk about that makes me think, I need to look at this.
Absolutely. Going back to what you were saying about, I don't want to look back and think, just because you've got a business doesn't mean to say you have to spend all your time on things you don't enjoy.
Yes, amazing. Well, we have come to the end of our conversation. I would love to carry on talking about this, but we would certainly love to have you back, Jan, to explore more topics around this area when time permits you.
I would love to. Absolutely love to come back and chat to you some more.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. If you want to know the simplest strategies to scale your business for success, and you want to do it in an elegant way, in a way that doesn't suck the life out of you, in a way that builds your relationships, your family, and your well-being, you know where to go to. Just visit the website below and reach out to Jan. She will help you along the way. Alternatively, you can send us an email. I have a great team that can support you too along the way. And finally, we are hosting our own Clubhouse hour at 9 o'clock UK time, Monday to Friday, and we'd certainly love for you to join us there. Some amazing things are happening. We're sharing some great information, and we want you to be part of it. With that said, guys, have a wonderful day. Remember, the best is yet to come, and we truly believe you can make it with the right company, with the right mentorship, and in this program, we bring you just that. With that said, talk to you soon, and goodbye for now. Thanks again, Jan.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.